17 years ago, Islamic jihadists struck America in coordinated attacks that used hijacked airplanes to crash into the Twin Towers of New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. A third attack crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. Those attacks killed nearly 3,000 and forever changed the world. As George Thomas reports, nearly 2 decades after 9/11, the battle with radical Islam is far from over.
Since that fateful September morning in 2001, Islamic jihadists have launched more than 33,000 deadly terror attacks.
The movements and ideologies that drove and justified that attack and the thousands of other attacks you name, that still remains very dynamic, very vibrant.
And these terror groups have hit targets nearly everywhere around the world since 9/11, from Iraq and Afghanistan to Finland and California. Experts say Islamic fighters have shown that they are far from exhausted, discouraged, or underfunded.
They still seem very prepared to fight, not ready for a diplomatic process.
ISIS, an offshoot of Al-Qaeda born in the desert sands of Iraq and Syria, is much weaker, but by no means out of the fight. The group has carried out more than 150 attacks in 29 countries, killing thousands. Its affiliates or supporters are now spread around the world, including here in the homeland, where the FBI's director told congressional officials this summer that his bureau was tracking an alarming number of cases.
We have about 1,000 investigations into exactly the kind of people you're describing, covering all 50 states.
Despite the death of its leader, Osama bin Laden, in May 2011, Al-Qaeda, which just had a few hundred fighters on 9/11, now has between 10,000 and 20,000 battle-hardened fighters in Syria. 4,000 are operating in Libya, and another 9,000 are in Somalia. Hundreds more are scattered across North Africa and Southeast Asia. And according to Western intelligence, there are about 50,000 jihadists living in Europe, including recent combatants who have returned home after fighting alongside ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other terror groups in Syria and Iraq.
They are faith-driven. They have an ideology that is derived from a theology.
17 years on, despite trillions of dollars spent and countless American lives lost, the threat from radical Islam is more widespread than ever before. May says the world should prepare for a long war against an enemy that isn't backing down and believes time is on its side.
We don't know how long this war is going to last. Our enemies don't care how long it's going to last. If we are not prepared for such a war, then we will for sure lose such a war.
George Thomas, CBN News.